Residents in Iceland were temporarily allowed to return to their homes and collect basic necessities yesterday, despite the threat of a likely volcanic eruption. The southwest part of the country has been rocked by thousands of earthquakes in recent days, and seismic activity has remained constant. Nearly 4,000 inhabitants of the town of Grindavik have been completely evacuated as large cracks in the ground destroy roads and threaten the stability of the infrastructure. Well, joining me live is Professor Ray Cas, a volcanologist. And Ray, thank you so much for joining us. Now, we're seeing the vision here. We're hearing thousands of people evacuating. Talk us through what the current situation is.
As far as we know from seismic data, and also obviously ground movements that you're seeing on your screen at the moment, gas release, there is a large body of molten rock, or magma as we call it, underneath the southwest of Iceland in an area called the Reykjanes Peninsula. And as far as we understand it from the seismic data, that body is at a depth of about 800 metres to 1,500 metres below the Earth's surface. So it's at a very shallow level. And with all that fracturing, it's showing that the Earth is splitting, and that provides conduits for magma to erupt. So there's now an anticipation that an eruption could occur at any time. It could be today, could be tomorrow. Unfortunately, these systems seem to have a mind of their own, and it could also be 2 to 3 weeks, or eventually, if it's let off enough gas and energy, it could decide, well, that's as much as I want to do at the moment.
And Ray, we've obviously seen the evacuations, and rightly so, but as you say, we don't know the certainty of when. What about the certainty of where?
So that's very well defined, and that's largely due to the concentration, the focus of very intense earthquake activity, seismic activity, particular types of earthquakes that we call volcanic earthquakes, which are different from the tectonic earthquakes, for example, that destroyed Christchurch 10 or 11 years ago. So these are very well constrained. We know exactly the location, and they define a linear belt that is up to about 10 kilometres in length. And also, of course, we see all those fractures and cracks in the ground with escaping steam and gas. So we know exactly where that magma body is. And somewhere along that 10-kilometre length, an eruption will occur. The question is, will it occur at the southern end, which is impinging on the ocean, which could generate explosive activity, superheating of seawater, shallow marine explosive events, or further inland, in which case the eruption style is likely to be effusive, or what we call lava forming, and perhaps accompanied by very spectacular fountains of magma or lava that could jet tens to hundreds of metres into the air.
And what other impacts do volcanoes have on climate change and weather?
So the gases that they release, and particularly if they are also explosive and they release a lot of fine ash, can certainly impact weather immediately. The level to which the material is ejected up into the atmosphere is important. If it gets up into the stratosphere, then gases like sulfur dioxide and very fine ash can actually cause cooling. A lot of water could also be released, and that could, of course, condense and then form cloud cover and lead to significant rainfall. But the longer-term impact on climate will depend very much on the types of gases that are released and the volume. So with really large, explosive supervolcano eruptions, there is the potential for an impact on climate beyond the initial 1 or 2 years that is quite common with smaller scale explosive eruptions. So super volcanic eruptions like from Yellowstone caldera, or perhaps Taupo volcano in New Zealand, could have longer term climate effect. But that is not likely to be the case from this current volcanic crisis.
All right, we have to wrap it up, but Professor Ray Cas, really appreciate your time and expertise today. Thank you.
Thank you.